Patient experience is at the heart of high-quality healthcare, and creating meaningful improvements requires intentional, ongoing effort. Joining us today to discuss the patient experience work at Mainline Health is Suzanne Smith, System Director of Patient Experience. I'm Shannon Hale with Vizient's Performance Improvement Programs team and your host. Suzanne, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Shannon, I'm so excited to be here and have this conversation because we've talked in the past, and every time I meet you, I feel like we're just starting from where we left off.
Well, I cannot wait to talk to you today. Thank you again. So tell our listeners just a little bit about Mainline Health.
Mainline Health is a pretty unique health system. We're right outside of the greater Philadelphia region. What sets Mainline Health apart really is a combination of the clinical excellence, but we are deeply rooted in the community we serve. Our goal is compassion. Shannon, I got in this patient experience business totally by accident. It was one of those, geez, CMS is going to put a price tag on how people feel, and it never went away. So over the last 15 plus years, I've realized that patient experience is not a department. It's a partner. It's quality, safety, and experience. So it's heal me, don't hurt me, and please be kind to me. When you say that something that's working at a small community hospital, one of the hospitals within the Mainline Health system, is working well, and we share that at a quarterly or a monthly Vizient call, we've now opened up our connection or our network for other people to ask questions and say, we don't do that, but we do this. And if we combine the two, what do you think we'll have? I know that we've talked about the ED Ambassador program, and that's one of those things that we shared it at a Vizient call. Fast forward about 45 days, and we now have 6 organizations across the country that are saying, let's form our own cohort and see what we can do.
That is amazing. So you've got 6 organizations that want to talk about it, look at it. Think of all the patients and their families that's going to touch. That's the impact that you're having.
The impact goes far beyond making someone feel good about their decision to choose any one health system. The front door at most health systems starts in the emergency department. Nobody says, next Tuesday, I'm going to get in an accident, so I'm going to have a fresh pair of socks and a pair of pajamas in the backseat of my car, so when I'm in that accident, I'm ready to go. When they hit the emergency department, they want somebody that's going to navigate that waiting room. Where do I go? How do I check in? Why is there a security guard there? Do I look shady? No, I'm just afraid. So it's somebody that acts as that front of the house. Where do I go? What do I do? And geez, I see that nice blue vest. So you're the person that can answer my questions. The ED ambassador is not a clinical role per se, but they are supporting those that are providing that essential clinical care to the people that are in the back of the house. Our ED ambassadors are truly the CEOs of the waiting areas. What makes Mainline really work is our teams come together. We have over 14,000 employees and about 2,000 providers across our network. We operate one system, and that has a clear focus on safety, seamless care, and meeting patients where they are. We now have over 150 practice locations and growing. We're able to meet people wherever they are, whether that's in a hospital, a clinic, a practice, even in their home. Our home care, hospice, and palliative care continues to grow leaps and bounds every day.
Fantastic to hear that. I know there's no routine day. Every day is different. Tell me what a day in your life as System Director of Patient Experience, what's that look like?
Oh gosh, what's today? Definitely there are no 2 days or 2 weeks that look exactly the same. Our job in patient experience is, regardless of what our background is, we are not providing care, we are supporting those that do. Our purpose, we remove barriers. We make sure that whatever is getting in the way of a great patient experience or access to care, that we work to remove that. We also eliminate the need for noise. We elevate the patient voice directly. We want to make sure our patient experience managers, our navigators, our ED ambassadors, our spiritual care team members, and our volunteers are in places where our patients and visitors both see them and know that they're there to support them in any respect. I mean, a typical day, it's reviewing real-time feedback. We get a survey from the grocery store and the car dealer and every place else. The difference is the surveys that we get from a director of patient experience, I'm really looking at what the feedback stories tell me, the patient journey. Those comments are something that are more important than a number. We're also coaching team members on communication, how to service recover and say a genuine apology with a skill called empathy. We're constantly meeting clinical and operation teams. We are assisting with improving designs that provide care safer, more clear, and more human. We're also supporting those frontline staff who are navigating the emotionally complex family situations that we're seeing now more than ever. My job is celebrating those wins. What did Shannon do great today? Why aren't we telling everybody what Shannon did? Recognition has to be the heart of what we do because service recovery is not always easy, but when it happens and it's done right, we need to celebrate the heck out of that.
I totally agree. If you celebrated something that I did, for instance, in my daily work, that's going to reinforce to me how important that is. Hearing it from leadership within my system.
I agree. When you tell somebody you're the system director of patient experience and they say, what exactly is that? You're like, well, it's a little bit strategy and it's a lot of being present. And then there's a whole bunch of heart that's mixed in with that. And if you can do that with some type of equal balance on a day-to-day basis, you can certainly do my job.
One thing that just hit me as you were talking about the day in the life, all the different areas of healthcare, of even just one facility, if you just think of one hospital, how many people you're touching and that you're working with.
I say it's the best job I've ever had in my entire career because I get to go home each night and say, I impacted at least one patient or one visitor today. I was emotionally there and present when a staff member needed a caring ear. I was there when somebody just needed me to stand present and stay silent. My job is different every day in the best possible way.
Just warms my heart. I love that you're in this role. Along the same lines, I'll put you on the spot. Is there any work that you're proud of that had a big positive impact on a patient or their family?
It goes back to what my third grade teacher used to say, keep it simple, stupid. This past year, Mainline Health invested in all 14,000 of our employees being assigned We Are Patient Experience as a training. This training on the surface is exactly what it says it is. It's the sum total of all interactions that a patient has with our teams, whether they are clinical or essential support, that makes up how they feel about their experience within Mainline Health. So we created a training. We start with something as simple as if anybody on the call has seen the empathy video from the Cleveland Clinic. It's one of those things that reminds you that everybody walks into the door with a different mindset, a different bag that they are carrying, and we will never know. In addition, this training, the We Are Patient Experience training, focuses on words that work. It's intentional communication. It's alignment with safety and quality. And it's making meaningful improvements, not just checking a box. So it's making sure we focus on things like being present, ensuring that our patients feel seen and heard. And it's also managing up the entire care team, both clinically and essential supports. We need to make sure that we slow down, we confirm understanding, we make space for questions and conversation, and all of that combined, when it's done right, it creates the biggest ripple effect of impact. Our patients leave with clear and kind expectations of what's to come, what they need to do to continue to be a partner in their care. In the We Are Patient Experience, I'd like to tell you it's the wow factor, but what we're doing is we're reminding everybody why they got into healthcare, and we're asking them to recommit to being present.
I remember one time you told me about a role, emergency room ambassador. Could you tell us a little bit about that role? What's the background? What is the purpose of that role?
In the last several years, We've all seen that our emergency departments are just exploding. Patients are now receiving care in hallways. There's barely a chair to sit in when you go into an emergency department waiting rooms. We now have security officers scanning bags and checking people as they come in. The parking lots are full. So we decided we needed something of a concierge, somebody that was going to manage the front of the house. So take that burden off of our clinicians and really put it on somebody that has that expertise in managing that service excellence or the customer service piece. We created what we call an ED ambassador. Our ambassadors come from a variety of backgrounds. We have a retired nurse. We have somebody from hospitality and customer service. We have an EMT that worked in EMS for many years. We have a care coordinator that decided that she wanted to do something different. And we also have a number of people from emergency department support roles. We extensively train them in communication, trauma-informed care, de-escalation, and then navigating in what we call high-stress environments. And those positions are the CEOs of our waiting areas. They are giving clear communication, supporting families that have no idea what's happening or why. They are focused on the smooth transition from the front of the house to the back of the house and then everything in between. So it's almost like Disney. The crowds waiting to get in are a lot and they're hectic and they're anxious. But in the back of the house, the lines are okay. It's also navigating high stress areas. Somebody that's never been to an emergency department and finds out their 20-year-old son was in a car accident while at college, and he's been in the emergency department now for 3 hours while they traveled from another state. By the time they get there, they want somebody to acknowledge the vulnerability. They want somebody to say, I've got you. Let's take a breath. Let me get you a glass of water. I do know your son or daughter is in the back. The team is working with them right now. Let me find you a place to sit and catch your breath for a moment. So it's somebody that says, let me hold this stress for you while I take care of the coordination on this end.
And I'm sure that's such a relief as a family member in a situation just like what you're speaking of, sitting out in the emergency room, waiting room, knowing that a loved one has been in an accident and hearing that would be such a relief. I can only imagine the impact having an ED ambassador would have if I were a patient or a family member. Have you heard any feedback from patients or families about this role?
A story that was just within the last 45 days. A family came in because they were told that their child was in a severe accident. And the ED ambassador really was not aware that a trauma came in the back door because she didn't start her shift until an hour after that patient was already taken back. But when the mom and the dad finally got there, they were clearly frazzled. They couldn't think of anything other than, how do I get to my child? And this ED ambassador said, okay, we're going to take a moment. They were able to keep the family grounded. They were able to get a few seconds with their child before the child had to go up for emergency surgery. And she kept talking to them as if they were her own family. Let me get you an update. It will take about 7 minutes for me to go in the back, walk to the area that your child is being treated, and then I will come out. And in that time, please just know that I'm working on your behalf. I'm glad to say that the care turned out well. The child survived and is actually going to have a full recovery. But the letter that we received from the mom said, my child didn't receive clinical care. My child received human care. And had I not had Leslie, the ED ambassador, I would have been hard pressed to stay calm and cool and to not lose my mind. And she went on to say that in other places in healthcare, they were worried about her insurance card and the copay, when in fact, that didn't even happen until the next day. So the ED ambassadors are able to communicate some of that vulnerability to things that are equally important, such as registration and getting information and the proper middle name. All that stuff matters, but in the heat of the moment, we have to be human beings.
I've never been to mainline health as a patient, but I can tell you just from our discussion just today, if I were, I know I would be in good hands just from what you've told me here. So thank you. I'm sure I say that on behalf of all of your patients and their families. This is fantastic work. I could talk about this all day long.
Thank you. When I meet people at conferences and out and about, I say, I really hope that other than right now, we never meet again.
Yeah.
Because if you're meeting me, it's because something is not going well.
Good point. I want to ask you, if I were a patient at your organization, what would be the one thing you'd want me to be certain of when I was discharged from Mainline Health?
The key here is we start discharge planning on your first visit, whether that's a first visit to a primary care office or a first inpatient stay. We really start discharge planning at that very point of, hi, Shannon, it's really nice to meet you. Our goal is always that you are not just treated, you are cared for. Everything we do comes back to improving quality of life for those we serve. We want patients to understand their plan of care. We want them to have a clear focus on what is next. We want our patients to feel confident, not confused. We want them to know that being a trusted partner with Mainline Health means that they can ask any question regardless of how many times they have to ask it. And then lastly, we want them to feel that we respect them as a patient, as a person, and as somebody that has trusted us with their care. We need to listen to them and we need to value who they are. Again, I go back to, we are not checking boxes, we are checking on people.
I love how you keep going back to the human aspect of the work that we do day in and day out. You've hit on several lessons learned and what's important and things that you want patients to be assured of when they're there in your organization. Right now, you have the ears of providers, clinicians, other healthcare leaders across the country who are listening. Any key lessons in addition to what we've already spoken about in your work that you feel would be important to highlight or to share right now?
How much time do we have? I learn something new every day in my role. A few of the things that rise to the top. Patients remember how you make them feel. They remember in your busiest moments how you made them feel in that short time that you were interacting with them. Also, clarity is kindness. People don't come to hospitals for cotton candy and unicorns. They come because they're here for care or they're here supporting somebody that is receiving care. Then I go to small behaviors aren't small. A touch of the hand, a warm handoff. Shannon, you're going to be with Dr. Myra for the rest of this session. You are in fabulous hands. Making sure that empathy is part of the treatment plan is also very important. It just reduces that fear and increases the adherence to what we're trying to get our patients to do. And then lastly, you don't need to fix everything. Sometimes the most healing thing that our providers can do is simply acknowledge what a patient and family is going through in that moment. Our clinicians, our providers, they carry so much. These lessons aren't about adding more stress to their day or more things to their to-do list. It's about elevating what they already do well and then recognizing that they are elevating the whole patient experience for those we serve.
I have no doubt you are changing the world with all of your interactions.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Suzanne, for joining us today and sharing your insights around the patient experience. And thanks to you, our listeners. Please join us for more knowledge on the go. Subscribe today, like us, and send us your comments at picollaboratives@vizientinc.com.